Really is heated, and if you get a little case of deja vu watching this game, you may remember that not too long ago it was these same two teams. In fact, the final game that we did in District 4-5A was Lee and Andress. These two teams are back at it once again, and we've talked all week long about that rivalry. Andress came in last year and defeated the Rebels one time, tied them the other time, and that tie actually went on the tie-breaking system and gave the victory to Andress. And so the Rebels have revenge on their minds, and that's what they've been talking about all week long.
Yeah, it really is strange for a pre-district game, which is usually, you know, pretty much of a low-key affair, to have the significance tied to it that this game already does. Even Coach Earl Miller has said that they want this game very badly.
The captains meeting in the center of the field right now. Let's introduce the captains to you. First of all, for the Eagles from Andress. First of all, there's Isaiah Lee, the outstanding quarterback, Joseph Thomas, Alfredo Marquez, and Gilbert Ramirez. For the Lee Rebels, their captains are Jimmy Patton, Casey Jones, and two others out there that we haven't been able to pick up yet. Jimmy Patton and Casey Jones, two of the very important members for the Lee team, four captains, four co-captains for the Lee Rebels and for Coach Earl Miller. And Don, it's just good to be back in a football stadium and ready for high school football after what was a very, very long off-season.
Extremely long off-season. It is, and I got to tell you, tonight it really kind of feels like football weather. We're completely outside here at Midland Memorial Stadium, top of the east side of the stands. A little unusual for us. We're normally on the west side, on the press box side, but we're on top of the east side of the stadium, so your perspective will be a little bit different. We'll be facing the home team and facing the home stands. The right side of your TV screen will be north. The left side will be south, which is different than what we have had in the past.
Don, we talk about the revenge factor for the Lee Rebels. For the Eagles from Andress, their factor would be proving that they have made it in high school football. Of course, as we look at the history of El Paso football, in the past, they have, we'll take that touchdown now, okay. In the past, El Paso schools have not fared well in postseason play. They're turning that around. The question mark is now, can Andress turn it around 2 years in a row and be one of the top teams in the state?
Well, I think Jerry Millsap's a name that's well known to most of the people in the Permian Basin area. He's coached out in West Texas for a long time. He's the athletic director out there. He's done a lot of things to improve the El Paso school district's football programs, all of their sports programs, not just football, but they're becoming very competitive all the way around. He has brought in some fresh blood. He's done a lot of things to encourage them. He's got a lot of fan support. Pretty good crowd on hand here tonight from El Paso, and that's a long drive.
The other two Lee captains that we didn't get a chance to tell you about earlier were Henry Stewart and James Ward. They've now gone back to join the rest of their teammates, as you can see right behind that banner, and they'll be coming out in just a few moments. And here come the Lee Rebels taking the field for the first time in 1991.
All right, Kurt, looks like we're going to have a good ball game on our hands here in just a moment, and we'll be back with the opening kickoff in just 1 minute.
Family fun in 91 at the Permian Basin Fair and Expo. We'll see you under the Coors tent Wednesday night, September 11th, when KG brings you the True Value Country Showdown and Hal Ketchum.
Let's get ready to go against the Andress Eagles. Andress will be kicking off, defending the north goal, and the Lee Rebels will be receiving the ball on the south end of the field. I'll turn the play-by-play over to our esteemed Mr. Kurt Geiser.
Oh, I've never been esteemed before, but I'm ready for football to begin. The Andress Eagles ready to send it on down the field. And the 1991 season is underway. Steve Guadardo with the kick, brought in by Lee at about the 5-yard line. Back very quickly is Mike Lambert. Lambert still on his feet at the 30, brought down at the 33-yard line, and a flag will fly. Inadvertent face mask on Lambert, who gets up limping, and the tackle made by Richard O'Quinn for the Eagles.
Back out to about the 33-yard line. There's a flag on the play, though. He's dropped at that point by number 33.
I believe you called that one exactly right. One of those 5-yard type face mask deals.
So instead of the 33-yard line, the Rebels should start it from the 38-yard line. We'll check it out now as they will move the chains. First game of the season, Don. Unfortunately, you expected a lot of those yellow flags.
Yeah, too bad we had to start out the whole game with one. The one thing that was about that I noticed, though, there was some real crisp blocking by the Lee Rebels. He had a pretty good crease to come through up through there.
When you talk about penalties, that's one of the sore points for Coach Earl Miller in the 2 games in which Lee lost to Andress last year. Penalties were a definite problem area that they would like to correct tonight. They'll start it from the 38-yard line. 1st and 10. Jimmy Patton, who played cornerback last year for the Rebels, starts at quarterback tonight, and a big hit. First play of the game. What a shot by Steve Plyler, the nose guard. And we remember him from last year, 255-pound senior, and he felt every one of those 255 pounds.
He's about 6'4" tall, 255 pounds. Athletically, at least, he is a major college prospect. Understand he's not the strongest student in school, but is a good student. May very well play some Division I ball.
On the ground, fumble. It is loose as the pitch came back to Lee's Sherman Dedrick. And Dedrick just able to control the football. As they tried the left side, and Dedrick never had it.
Well, he drops it, and then he does something. He's not real bright. He doesn't get down on it. He kind of tried to pick it up again. The wishbone kind of having a malfunction here. A little bit of a pulley bone. Oh,
it could be.
Never mind. I wish I had said that one.
About a 2-yard loss on the play. It'll be 3rd and long, 3rd and about 12 for the Rebels. Back to throw. Jimmy Patton. Incomplete. Intended on the left side of the field for Demon Robinson.
Demon Robinson pulled up on his pattern. He had actually stopped running, and the quarterback threw the ball good 5 yards over his head.
This will give us our first look at Darrell Lucas. Darrell, the punter for the Rebels tonight, is a transfer from Bront, where he was an all-district punter, and they expect big things out of him. Good hang time, good distance. His first kick for the Lee Rebels just about ready to come up here as he'll get it away from about his own 25-yard line. Low snap. Lucas handles it. End over end kick taken at the 26-yard line. Back to the 30 and out of bounds. So the Andress Eagles will get their first chance at the football.
Joseph Hayward making the return back there as he picked the ball up, scooted down the sideline.
36, make it the 37-yard line.
So Lee started from their own 38. Andress will start from their own 37. The Rebels actually went backwards in 3 plays. We'll see what the Eagles do right now as they open up with Isaiah Lee at quarterback.
And we remember this young man from last year. He is an outstanding young quarterback, not very big, about 5'8", but he does a job.
Some feel that Isaiah Lee may be the best athlete in El Paso, and he has shown some good athletic ability on the football field. Tripped up as they hand the ball off to Joseph Thomas. Thomas, 150-pound senior, trying the middle. Gets it across the 40-yard line as he is brought down by Chico Tellez. Tellez last year was a starting fullback. Actually missed the last game against Andress, but now he's moved to middle linebacker, a move that the Rebels are very excited about. They think he's performed very well there. 4-yard pickup will make it 2nd and 6. Football out to the 41-yard line. Clock moving, coming down on the 10-minute mark. Left in the first quarter. Pitch left side. On the ground to Joseph Thomas again. Stopped just short of the 45-yard line.
Whole host of people in there on the top, but right down on the bottom of that stack had to be Rod Strambler for one.
Bernard Oldham, another one I think, Don, that was there. Oldham, 6 foot, 200-pound junior. And Oldham is another one of the linemen that the Rebels are expecting big things from this year.
Make it 3rd and 2.
It'll be 3rd and a couple for the Andress Eagles, their first offensive series. The wishbone behind Isaiah Lee. Lee again to Thomas, hit in the backfield, and he'll be stopped short of a first down. Matt Tryon made the penetration and made the big hit and the stop.
Well, Tryon does a great job this time. Watch him as he comes across from the offside there and just nails him as he tries to make that cut to the outside. Good job, good penetration.
So neither team able to pick up a first down on their first series under the 9-minute mark, as the Eagles will drop back into punt formation right now. The Andress Eagles and the Lee Rebels. First look at both teams for 1991. the Rebels with an extra week of practice this year. They forego their spring training for one extra week now, and it says Earl Miller thought it helped his team a lot. Flag on the punt will go against the Eagles as the kick is taken in by Henry Stewart. Let's check out the marker.
Young man late coming on the field, and I think he actually turned upfield about the time the ball was snapped. He was running across fair line.
About the 20-yard line. Penalty flag on the play, however.
So the kick went out of bounds at about the 21-yard line. So we'll see if the Rebels think they can do a little bit better than that.
Yep, going to kick it over.
So we'll march him back 5. Clock is stopped with 8 minutes and 34 seconds left to go in the first quarter of play here at Memorial Stadium. A great night for the opening night of high school football for 1991. But in West Texas, any night is a great night for high school football in 1991.
Or any other year.
That's right. The Eagles in punt formation one more time. Low snap. The kick underway. Brought down by the Rebels at the 32-yard line, and that's Stewart again, who fights to the 34. Good coverage by the Eagles. Stewart made the most of it, and they did end up with about 13 more yards, courtesy of that penalty. Jason Romanowski for Andress in on the stop that time.
Back out to the 34-yard.
So the Lee offense on the field for the second time. 8 minutes and 23 seconds left to go in the first quarter of play. No score yet, Memorial Stadium. 1st and 10. As a pitch comes back to Brett Sullivan.
Sullivan lowered his head and went into the pile that time. Did a good job of just picking up what was there. Good wishbone type run. Stopped that time by Marquez, Alfredo Marquez. He was in on the bottom of that stack.
Sullivan, one of 4 returning starters for the Rebels. 3rd leading rusher for Lee last year with 497 yards. Kenny Earl Williams has the ball this time across the 40-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and short, 3rd and a couple, as he takes it to the 43.
It was Ramirez and Marquez once again on the stop that time as the 2 linebackers teamed up to make the stop. These 2 linebackers are very, very large. Ramirez at 245 pounds and Marquez at 225. Those are big linebackers.
Speaking of large, Casey Jones, 6'3", 230, the center, and the handoff coming to Williams again. Morrow is right there for the Eagles.
Kenny Williams again, though.
But I tell you what, everybody in the crowd ought to be watching this play in the middle of the line. That time, Casey Jones won it. And Steve Pyler is lined up right over his nose. And these are 2 all-state type players that are lined up in the middle of that line facing each other on every snap. And it's a pretty good war going already.
Casey Jones was an all-stater last year. One of the main cogs to that Rebel machine. Earl Miller said if he had a 11 Casey Jones with his attitude, not only his physical ability, just his attitude alone, he wouldn't have to worry about his team at all. Second punt for Darrell Lucas. Good hang time. Beautiful spiral. Sends him back to the 10-yard line. The Eagles back with the football right now. That's Joseph Thomas. And what a great kick by Darrell Lucas.
Whoa. I see why he made all-district if he could do that regularly. I mean, that one was way up there. I'll mention this now, Kurt, so you can't say that I didn't say it earlier. But I watched on the last Andress punt, Lee broke through real well. Look for him to try to block a punt before the night's over because they had 3 people coming through the middle pretty clean that time.
You've heard the prediction, his first of the year. Isaiah Lee pitches the ball back to Hayward. Hayward going out left side, tripped up at the 21-yard line, but a flag will fly as the tackle was made. That was Jake Crouch on the tackle for the Rebels.
I think you're going to have an offensive holding call or...
Flag on the play.
Yep.
Jake Crouch coming off the junior varsity from last year. Also Mike Seidenberger in there on the stop.
Now, folks shouldn't be real critical of this. This is a wide receiver type block. It's the kind of block you get from wide receivers. They don't tend to be real physical. They just try to hold on to somebody to keep them from getting there to make a tackle. Guys are being a little picky.
So instead of 1st and 10, it's 1st and 20. The Eagles push back to their own 12-yard line. 6.5 minutes left in the first quarter of play. Isaiah Lee has his back set off to the left side this time. Hands it off to the second man through. Not a lot of running room that time for Andress.
First hit was by Tellez deep in the backfield, and then Matt Tyron got him down at the line of scrimmage, but Tellez made good penetration that time, messed up the play in the backfield.
Joseph Thomas, again, the ball carrier. Thomas has been a busy back in the first couple of series for the Eagles.
Brings up second.
It'll be second and about 18 as we come under the 6-minute mark now. Lee has a man in motion behind him. That's Hayward. Lee back to throw. Looks to the right side. Can't find anyone open. He's being pressured. Lee still has the football. Lee will take off. Lee looks for running room, but he is brought down by a host of Lee Rebels. As he gets back to the 16-yard line, he'll pick up a couple, but that's a tough way to do it as he couldn't find any receivers open. Good coverage, good pursuit on Isaiah Lee.
Several other Rebels.
Stewart was the first one in there. Henry Stewart was the first one in there, but he was chased all over the backfield by Seidenberger. He chased him for about 5 minutes in the backfield at least. Okay, so I exaggerated. It was only 4 minutes.
It wasn't that long. Yeah, it was only 4, yeah. Isaiah Lee.
Forever.
He actually rushed for more yards than he passed for last year. Passed for 715, rushed for 874. So he can do both very, very well.
Well, he is a prototype wishbone-style quarterback. He can throw the ball, but he'd prefer to run the ball.
About a 3-yard pickup. We'll call it 3rd and 15. 5.5 minutes to go in the first quarter of play. The Eagles need a big play. Isaiah Lee is hit, and no, he's not down. Yeah, he is down. Didn't go down the first time he was hit, but he had to the second and third time as Brett McNeil made the big play defensively for Lee.
Well, there were several others in there, but McNeil's one of them, and Oldham is the other one. Goodness gracious, there were a lot of people that got there at the same time. I believe that was supposed to be some type of a counter action, and I'm not sure but what he didn't miss his handoff.
Steve Guardado drops back into punt formation once again, right at his goal line. Clock continued to move. 4:50 left as Guardado gets the kick away, brought down by the Rebels in Andress territory. That's Mike Brackens with the football. Brackens brought down at the 30-yard line. The Rebels in excellent field position that time.
By the Phantom, number 68.
And Mike Brackens on the punting card.
We always have a Phantom every game that we do, don't we?
Yes. And the Phantom is number 68 for Andress, and he makes the stop. And his number is definitely 68, and he is definitely not on the program.
That's right. 1st and 10 Rebels. They'll start it from the 31-yard line. Second man through gets the football. Very little running room that time for Kenny Williams. Tried to cut back against the grain, and he will pick up about 3 yards down on the 28. Gilbert Ramirez in on the stop that time.
Andress does an excellent job of swarming the football. That time there were 4 men who were all coming in together to make the tackle. Great job of playing a swarming style of defense.
Patton gets the football and is brought down. Looking to pitch it out to the left side to the trailing back, who was Sherman Dedrick, but couldn't get it to him as Richard O'Quinn was there too quickly for Jimmy Patton to get rid of the football.
They played that absolutely the way you write it up on the backboard. There was a man who had the pitch man, a man who had the quarterback. Everybody was covered. There was no place to go.
So the Rebels lose 4 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd and 11. They're pushed back to the 31-yard line. Keeping it on the ground. That is Brett Sullivan. Sullivan will take it up near a first down, but I don't think he has it. We'll see where they spot the football.
Well, where they're spotting it, yes, very close. Maybe a half-yard short. I don't know.
Close enough that we're going to measure. So the clock will stop with 3 minutes and 17 seconds to go in the first quarter. And with the timeout on the field, we'll take a timeout as well. No score between the Lee Rebels and the Andress Eagles. This is the Super 7 Sports Production.
911, the 3 most important numbers your child should know. Super 7 advice.
See Jones.
Right side for
It is a first down.
First down.
Rebel first down.
Really, that's the first time that anybody has been able to move the football.
That's the first down of the night. That's right. And the Rebels pushed all the way to 4th down before they pick it up. Clock moving, coming down on the 3-minute mark. Patton pitches the ball back, and a great defensive play as the pitch came back to Diedrich.
Jerry Strong. Jerry Strong comes in here and really messes this up. Watch it. He grabs everybody. It's one of those, okay, grab an armful, sort out for the guy that's got the football and throw him down. Well, almost.
Close, yeah.
Close.
That's what it looked like, didn't it?
Yeah, well.
About a 1-yard loss in the play, so it'll be 2nd and 11. The ball pushed back to the 22. 2.5 minutes to go in the first quarter of play. Patton hands it off to a spinning Kenny Williams, who takes it inside the 15-yard line. And watch the spin move that Kenny Williams puts on to keep going.
Great job of taking a hit, spinning, keeping his balance, and going forward for a nice pickup of about, what, 7 yards?
It'll be 3rd and about 3 yards to go.
3rd and about 3.
2 minutes left in the first quarter. Fumble on the play. Picked up by Brett Sullivan in the backfield. He is hit and down. Sullivan trying to make the most of a busted play as the ball came back to him. But the Eagles defense made sure he didn't make the most of it. 4th down, Todd Mead will come on to try for the field goal. And Todd Mead, one of the returning starters for the Rebels and one of the real bright spots for this Rebel team. They expect big things out of him.
Right, and he's got a pretty good kind of a cross-trailing wind. The wind is basically going across, but it's a little bit behind him.
Mead with 8 field goals last year. They spotted it to 23, so it'll be a 33-yard attempt. We have flags flying, and let's see who it's against. Andress is saying it's against Lee, and it looks like it will be, as the Rebels are already starting to march backwards. That's exactly what it'll be.
That makes it a little bit tougher.
Make it a 38-yard field goal attempt. Last year, Todd had 2 field goals of over 40 yards, one a 46-yarder in the playoffs. And he's going to try to open up the 1991 season with a 38-yard attempt.
Well, he's got a pretty good breeze, and it's basically blowing more across than any other way, from east to west.
Snap back, ball down, the kick up. It's high, it's long, and it is no good. Wide to the right side.
Wide to the right.
Mead had the distance, and in trying to compensate for that wind, I think Don probably pushed it a little farther than he wanted to.
Pushed it a little bit far off to the right and just outside. Boy, I mean, it's close.
Pretty kick, though.
Yeah. Well,
despite the fact it misses, it was a nice kick. Clock will stop with 1 minute and 8 seconds left in the first quarter of play. And Alan Sepkowitz Andress Eagles will take over now. 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Lee hands it off to the second man through. Joseph Thomas hit hard.
Gert, I have a feeling these two teams are like a couple of big heavyweight boxers. They're sparring it out. They're feeling each other out. They're testing each other. I keep waiting for somebody to break something loose.
Chico Tellez, middle linebacker, in there for the Rebels with the big hit on Joe Thomas. 40 seconds and counting left in the first quarter of play. 2nd and 9. Lee to throw for the first time tonight. In the air, up the middle, and a flag will come. It'll be interference. The intended receiver was Jonathan Porter, and Rod Strambler was back defending for Lee, and the marker comes out at the 45-yard line.
Be a 15-yard penalty. A lot of people still confused about that. High school and college ball, it's not point of foul. It's a 15-yard penalty.
So that penalty will give Andress their first down of the night. And it comes with 29 seconds left to go in the first quarter of play. The ball to be spotted just across the 40-yard line. Looks like they'll put it down about the 42. No, they won't. Looks like they'll put it down at the 37. 37? Okay.
38. 37 3/4.
That sounds better, yeah.
Okay.
Let's be very precise about it.
Yes, extremely precise about it.
So the Eagles on the move from their own 37 3/4 yard line. Isaiah Lee has a man in motion, Hayward. Takes it and runs with it. looking for blocking support, doesn't find it. He is hit by the entire Lee defense.
With Tellez leading the charge there, and boy, I mean, Mr. Tellez sunk a shoulder pad into him and gave him a howdy-doody-do. Watch this. I mean, he gets hit right there. Oh, yes. His head bounced back.
James Ward, Brett McNeil, Chico Tellez, they were all there for Lee. The Rebel defense, a great job of making sure that Lee couldn't run outside, so he tried the middle and couldn't find any room there either. The scoreboard shows zeros as we are out of time in the first quarter of play from Memorial Stadium. After one complete, the season opener in the 1991 football season, it's the Andress Eagles 0, the Lee Rebels 0. This is the Super 7 Sports Production.
Neck pain, back pain, work-related injuries. Choose the Physical Therapy Office in Pecos. Our professional staff provides friendly, expert therapy for you and your family. We have the latest in modern equipment to ensure you of a safe road to recovery. The Physical Therapy Office staff would like to thank the people of Pecos and the surrounding areas for keeping us working.
911, the 3 most important numbers your child should know. Super 7 invites you and your family to visit our Rescue 911 booth at the Permian Basin Fair, September 12th through the 14th. The Super 7 news team will be on hand to provide 911 information, balloons and coloring sheets, and live newscast at 6 and 10 p.m. Watch Rescue 911 episodes and meet local rescue professionals. Parents, pick up lifesaver tags for your children, brought to you by McDonald's and KOSA. Join us at the Super 7 Rescue 911 Permian Basin Fair booth.
Excellence, possessing outstanding qualities. Super 7 in PIC recognizes excellence in Deborah Wiesnant of the Ector County ISD in Odessa. Deborah is a recipient of PIC's 1991 Golden Apple Award for excellence in the teaching of students at risk of leaving school without completing their high school education. Deborah Wiesnant, a true definition of excellence. Super 7 in the Permian Basin Private Industry Council, investing in education today for a quality workforce tomorrow.
Back at Memorial Stadium, ready for the second quarter is Isaiah Lee. Back to throw, airs it out right side, has a receiver. Hayward, it's intercepted. Great defensive play. Coming back for the football and intercepting it for the Lee Rebels, it was Nathan Lambert.
Well, that, Kurt, is an example of what happens when you throw into a pretty good wind and you get a lot of air under the ball. The ball was floating really bad. First place, he threw off of his back foot. The other part of it is he just didn't have enough soup on it to get it down against what's turning into a pretty brisk breeze blowing across the stadium.
So the first play of the second quarter is a big play for the Lee Rebels as Isaiah Lee is intercepted. He had his receiver Hayward out there, but as Don mentioned, the ball just held up in the wind, and the Rebel offense comes back out. They will start it 1st and 10. From their own 38-yard line. 11 minutes and 52 seconds left to go in the first half of play. Handoff coming to Roy Robinson, and Robinson will be stopped. In fact, Andress says they have the ball, and they do. 2 turnovers in a row, and the Eagles have got the ball back.
All right, let's take another real close look at it now. Well, I can't even see who's in there on the bottom of that pile.
The ball handed off to Roy Robinson, and I don't believe he ever really had control of it, I don't think.
I don't think he really did either. Well, in the exchange, the Andress Eagles gain a lot of territory. As they move down now, they're on the 40-yard line in the Lee end of the football field, and they're mounting their first scoring threat of the night.
And this is the best field position all night long for the Eagles. Isaiah Lee as his back's offset to the left side. Hayward in motion, hands it off to the lone back who remains. That is Joe Thomas. Thomas with room down to the 32-yard line, close to a first down. He'll be about a yard short.
And a big hit there at the end of that was made by Nathan Lambert, number 83, as he came in and really hit him hard. Watch him. He's got shirt tail there, but Lambert comes up and puts a heavy shoulder pad into him, knocks him down. Nice gain on the fake. Makes it about, what, 2nd and 2?
Coaches have been saying they're tired of hitting each other. They want to play in a game. I think we've seen that. There's been some hard hitting here in the first half. Thomas up the middle, has the first down. Inside to 30 to about the 28-yard line before he's finally stopped. And Joe Thomas has been the workhorse of the Eagle offense here in the first half.
And he picks up a first down. which moves the ball down, sets it up inside the 30-yard line, about the 20, call it the 29.
Bernard Oldham and James Ward combining to make the stop for the Rebels. 11 minutes to go in the first half of play. 1st and 10 Eagles. They have moved the ball to the Lee 28-yard line. Keeping it on the ground the last 2 plays. Lee hands it off again to Thomas around the right side behind some great blocks. Another good block, a flag on the play. Inside the 15-yard line, James Ward finally brings him to the turf. Let's check out the marker.
Lambert had a shot at him and didn't make it. He got pulled down. There is a flag down back here, and I'm not sure what the flag is for. It looks like a clip, probably. Yep, they're bringing it back. That's a shame. Big, nice gain, nice play, but they caught somebody with a infraction.
An infraction, yes.
Infraction. They fractured an in.
So the penalty will bring the ball back to the 36-yard line. What a big mark-off against the Eagles as they were moving and looking very, very good. It'll still be first down, but now it's 1st and about 16 yards to go.
Well,
10.5 minutes left in the first half of play.
Some really top-notch athletes on the field on both sides of the football, on both ball clubs, and it's a tough ball game.
Isaiah Lee on the reverse. They give it to Joe Thomas. Evades 1 tackle in the backfield. Can't evade 2 tacklers, though. And he's finally brought down. The last hit by Brett McNeil, James Ward, Mark Seidenberger made the first hit on him.
I do believe that Lee has been practicing against that reverse. I have never seen that many people in position to stop a reverse. There's got to be 6 guys out here that are playing the reverse.
And I'll tell you why Mark Seidenberger stayed at home. He's an honors student, and he knew they were going to be doing that.
I see.
Some smart football players.
Smart football players.
That's right.
I was talking to Mr. Pena, the principal at Andress, before the game. The backup quarterback is the president for the Andress Eagles, is the president of the Student Honor Society. So
a lot of smart football players out there. As Isaiah Lee looks to throw, can't find anyone. He's brought down at the 34-yard line. Matt Tryon on the coverage that time, along with James Ward, finally bringing him to the turf.
Number 44, James Ward.
It'll be 3rd down, 3rd and still long.
Gain down to the 34-yard line.
The ball to the 34, so it'll be 3rd and about 15.
Needed for the first down.
As we come down on the 9-minute mark, Brett McNeil has already had a big ball game defensively for the Rebels. As Andress lines up with 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, backs offset to the left side. Isaiah Lee looks to throw. Deep drop on the screen, completed to Thomas. Thomas to the 35. He'll be brought down. A loss on the play of a couple of yards.
But Lambert was there. Nathan Lambert was there, along with who else was that?
Joseph Thomas.
Tony Olivas.
Tony Olivas, yes. Lambert and Olivas combined to stop that one rather quickly. Some very, very solid defense being played by both ball clubs up to this point. And this point being about 8.5 minutes gone or left in the first half of play.
I said a loss in a play. Actually, they picked up a couple, but it's still 4th and 13 with 8 minutes and 15 seconds left. And the Eagles are lining up for a field goal attempt, which would be a 49-yarder. Steve Guardado. Will they actually kick it? Joseph Hayward with the snap, or with the hold. The kick is long, and it is good. Yes, they will make it. A 49-yard field goal by Steve Guardado.
I tell you what, he might have got another yard, but that's about it. But this is a dead set perfect kick all the way. And he drops it over the crossbar. He might have made another 2 or 3 yards there. He could have got a 51-yarder.
I was still shaking my head when I just saw him lining up and wasn't even ready for the kick. It was Joseph Hayward the hold, Steve Guardado the big kick, and it's 3-0 Andress.
Last year, the first ball game, the final score was
10 to 3,
10 to 7.
10 to 7.
10 to 7. Field goal was the difference. Field goal kickers, a battle. Lee missed their first one. Andress gets their first one. They're ahead 3-0.
Guardado, a junior.
Well, I tell you what, I'm sure they're going to be glad to have him around for this year and next. Young man's got a leg. Soccer-style kicker. And a lot of height on the ball. Got it up quick.
You know, in high school football, Don, you'd think that you'd see a number of teams with good kickers. You don't. It's rare to find a team that has a kicker like that. So the Rebels find themselves trailing in this football game. The season opener for 1991, dropping back to receive the kick. There's the long one by Guardado. He put it through the uprights. He put this one in the end zone, fumbled in the end zone, and they'll just keep it right there. That was Marlon Henry. Henry, a sophomore, very talented sophomore. I think we'll see a lot of Marlon not only this year, but in the future.
I was thinking for a moment that he was not too smart a sophomore. I thought he was going to try to come out of there with that, but he didn't. So he showed some good judgment.
First and 10, 20 for the Rebels.
And he really didn't have anyone back there with him to tell him to stay down. He had to make that decision upon his own. Of course, Earl Miller may have screamed a little from the sideline.
And I think he could have probably heard Earl's voice.
Yes, I'm sure.
Over the crowd. First and 10 from the 20 for the Rebels. 8:01 to go in the first half of play as the Rebels keep it on the ground.
I'm just not sure that Earl could say the words fast enough for it to do any good. It would be like, y'all stay there.
That was Brett Sullivan, brought down by Michael Wright.
25-yard line.
Brett Sullivan averaged 4.9 yards per carry last year.
Well, he's right on his average for this one. He picked up 5.
Moving the ball out to the 25, just under the 8-minute mark. The Rebels try the right side this time. Jerry Perez and Gilbert Ramirez combine on the stop for Andress, and the Rebels have picked up a first down.
Moving the ball rather well right there. Found a hole they wanted to run in.
So Sullivan carries it 2 times in a row.
And if I were them, I would be running away from Steve Pyler, either to his right or his left, but not right straight at him, because Steve Pyler, big number 75 in the middle, is a hoss.
First down Rebs as they move it out to the 31-yard line. And looks like they'll send Lee back to the huddle one more time. Now we'll start the clock, which shows 4 minutes. Make that 7 minutes. 7 minutes and 40 seconds. That's a new scoreboard. I can't read it very well. Yeah.
Brand new scoreboard, by the way. It looks very nice.
Very nice, yeah. Rebels try the right side and take it across the 35 to about the 36-yard line.
Pickup of about another 5-6 yards on the play.
And this is the type of grind-em-out football that Rebel fans are used to. 4 or 5 yards a shot.
37-yard.
And that was Kenny Williams with the ball that time. Williams, 5'8", 165-pound senior.
I've been wanting to use this line for a long time.
Uh-oh.
Each play is a little pearls. Earl's pearls.
Earl's pearls. Very clever.
String those pearls together and you get a winner.
And there's another pearl up the middle to about the 41-yard line.
Yes, yes. Well, I did it. I did it.
It's over with, yeah. Scott McLeod.
Let's forget that one, okay?
Scott McLeod, the ball carrier. Coach Miller said we'd see a number of people carrying the ball tonight, and that certainly has been the case.
Yes, as Kurt scrambles like crazy to try to figure out.
Find out who it is, yeah. It's always good to see a number of faces in there if you're a Rebel fan, to get a lot of guys playing time. From a broadcasting standpoint, you don't like to see it at all. You like the same guy carrying the football
every time,
every play, like Joe Thomas has done mostly for the Eagles tonight, as he's had the ball almost every time the Eagles have gone with it. It'll be 4th and very short.
Boy, and I mean very short. We're looking at like 4 inches.
We'll make that 3rd and very short. I'm sorry.
3rd and shorty.
3rd and short, yeah.
3rd and a shorty.
The 3rd and the shorty, that's it. Clock stopped at 6 minutes and 48 seconds left to go in the first half of play. Andress leading it 3-0 on a 49-yard field goal by Steve Guardado.
Remember that name.
Anyone can kick the football like that, yeah. 3rd and short for the Rebels. Jimmy Patton has the wishbone behind him. Right up the middle. And the Rebels trying to pick up the first down. That's all they wanted that time, and it looks like they'll have it. It is a first down for Lee. So the drive that started from the Rebels' own 20-yard line will continue from their own 42 right now, as they've kept it on the ground and have moved consistently down the field. Jimmy Patton, again quarterbacking the Rebels, his first start of his career. He was a cornerback last year, did play quarterback as a sophomore. Now he's quarterbacking the varsity, and he has the football. Jimmy Patton hit and thrown out of bounds just short of midfield. Richard O'Quinn made the play.
Mr. O'Quinn said hello to Mr. Patton. I tell you what, though, Mr. Patton's not very large, but he gives a pretty good account for himself there also.
And we saw a little bit of the good speed and quickness that Jimmy Patton possesses on that 7-yard pickup. Taking it out to the Rebels' own 49-yard line.
6:26 left.
Patton fumbles the football, but gets back to fall on it.
For no loss, no gain, I don't believe. I believe it stayed just about where it was.
The third miscue of the night in the exchange that time. Doesn't hurt the Rebels. Each team has suffered one turnover, an interception picked off by the Rebels, a fumble picked up by Andress. It'll be third down, 3rd and 4 for the Rebels. Pitch comes back to Sullivan. Sullivan across midfield. He'll be short of a first down, though. He takes it to the Eagle 49. He needed the Eagle 48.
Going to bring up a 4th down, and well, I tell you what, it's going to be very close. 4th down and less than a yard.
Alfredo Marquez, all district last year for Andress, on the stop along with Jerry Perez.
They're calling for a measurement, but I really don't think he's got it. I think he's about 18 inches short. Maybe that'll give the Lee coaching staff a chance to decide with 5:36 to go whether they want to go for it at midfield on 4th down or want to punt the ball away.
It's hard to tell about this wind. You know, we're on top of the stands right here. I'm not sure what it's doing down on the field, but it feels like a pretty stiff breeze against the Rebels the way they're going right now.
Well, I think.
But it's hard to tell.
I think it's more of a crossing wind, though. I think it's going more across the field than down the field. Swirling wind. That's what our esteemed sports director is saying. It's a swirling wind. And boy, is he steamed. He stays steamed all the time.
4th and inches to go for Lee.
And they're going. Okay. Jimmy Patton. Behind Casey.
Behind Casey Jones and against Steve Flyler. No, they keep it up, and it's a first down. They don't go with Jimmy Patton. Instead, the handoff
actually went to the second man.
Yeah, that was Kenny Williams that got the football.
Faked the base play and handed off to the second man on a little counter action.
Kenny Williams has that spin move down. He spins again and picks up the yardage that was necessary for the first down. Alfredo Marquez brings him down, but not before it's a 1st and 10 for the Rebels.
Well, Earl Miller is certainly a gambler.
Pitch comes back. And that was Sherman Dedrick.
Sherman Dedrick. Rebel ball.
Dedrick takes it inside the 35. They'll spot it at about the 42.5-yard line.
He gets hit in the backfield and shakes it off, but he can't get around the corner. There's too many folks there.
Hendricks was the man that brought him down. J.J., 155-pound junior. Under the 5-minute mark, 4-yard pickup will make it 2nd and 6. Keeping the ball on the option is Jimmy Patton. Patton with room inside the 30-yard line.
Well, everybody goes out to take the pitch, man. Patton plants his foot, cuts it up back inside, and makes some big yardage. Watch this. They're out after the pitch, man. He just plants his foot, cuts up in behind a good block by his wide receiver out there, and makes nice yardage on the play.
Ellis Morrow made the stop for the Eagles. It'll be another first down for the Rebels. Again, this drive started from their own 20-yard line. They're now at the Andress 28. Up the middle to Kenny Williams. Kenny will pick up a couple. So 1st and 10 will become 2nd and 8. Clock continues to move. Gilbert Ramirez, the first Eagle to hit him.
Down to the 26-yard line. Alfredo Marquez again on the stop. 2nd and just over 8 feet.
Coming down on the 4-minute mark. The Rebels' best offensive series all night long by far. They did start one series from the 30-yard line, tried a long field goal and didn't convert it. Flag will fly as Jimmy Patton goes down. Ellis Morrow again made the tackle. Let's check out the marker. Clock will stop. 3 minutes, 52 seconds left in the first half.
Against the offense, I'm almost positive. Offside, no, defensive offsides. Well, that certainly is a major help.
Against the Eagles.
So 2nd and 8 becomes 2nd and 3. The football will be moved to the 21-yard line. Scott McLeod bringing a football in from Coach Earl Miller and his staff. The Rebels' best opportunity of the night. They trail 3-0, and since that field goal, they've controlled the football. That 49-yard field goal. Patton drops. Patton tries to get away from one man, but cannot do it. Richard O'Quinn, the big defensive play for the Eagles, a shoestring away from breaking it, but Jimmy Patton goes down, courtesy of O'Quinn.
Well, he had a guard pulling out to give him some single protection on what was obviously supposed to be a pass play. Just didn't develop downfield, and he never really had time to set his feet and throw the football. Outstanding defensive play by the Andress, and especially O'Quinn. Had good coverage downfield also, though.
7-yard loss makes it 3rd and 10. The football is spotted at the 28-yard line. And if the Rebels are going to try a field goal to tie it, they'd like a little more yardage. Patton keeps it. Patton still on his feet, just shy of the 20. He got a little more yardage, down about the 21. Jonathan Porter on the stop that time. Where they are right now would be about a 38-yard field goal attempt.
38-yard field goal attempt from the hash mark. Wind has died a little bit, it seems, up here, but it looks like the flag's blowing harder on the other side, so I don't know. And we're going to take a timeout and talk about it.
Timeout will be called with 2 minutes and 33 seconds left to go in the first half as the Rebels call the timeout to try to set up some points. Our score has the Andress Eagles on top of the Lee Rebels 3-0. This is a Super 7 sports production.
The offers at most places are about as exciting as watching grass grow.
But there's never a dull moment at Burger King. Because now we'll have you seeing double. A double cheeseburger for just 99 cents. No, you're not seeing things. Only 99 cents for a flame-broiled double cheeseburger. So don't go to the eye doctor. Come to Burger King for a 99-cent flame-broiled double cheeseburger. It's a deal so good, it'll give you double vision.
Premier Discreet Connections. Hot and bold. Pick up your phone now and dial 1-900-976-CHAT and talk live one-on-one with one of our sensuous ladies. 1-900-976-2428. It's live, private, one-to-one conversation where uninhibited women share their deepest fantasies with you. 1-900-976-CHAT and succumb to your wildest dreams. Call now and please be 18.
How much is a ding, a dent, or a scratch worth to you? Plenty during Big Sur Waterbed's warehouse clearance. Right now, you'll save big on slightly damaged waterbeds, accessories, and matching bedroom furniture. Plus, save a minimum of 6% on brand new merchandise store-wide. That's 6% below our...
It's got enough distance, but it is.
That starts at their own 20-yard line, stalls at the 21-yard line. 38-yard field goal attempt, no good, so Andress maintains that 3-0 lead with 2 minutes and 13 seconds left to go in the first half. Let's see what the Eagles do right now in the closing moments of this first half. As Isaiah Lee comes out and will hand the football off to Joe Hayward. Hayward some room over the left side as he is taking it across the 25 to about the 28-yard line. Roderick Strambler in on the stop, and that Strambler name, of course, familiar to Lee fans. Roderick is a cousin of Ferris Strambler.
Actually, it was not Roderick. It was Jake,
Crouch?
yes. Crouch. Jake Crouch.
Well, Roderick is still Ferris's cousin, despite the fact he didn't make the stop. 2nd and 5. 5-yard pickup for the Eagles. Hayward in motion. Lee takes the football, looks to run with it, trying to turn the corner, can't do so. Good pursuit by the Rebel defense, and Andress just lost the 5 yards they gained +1. It was Matt Tryon that wouldn't let Isaiah Lee around the corner.
Isaiah Lee dropped back at the 20-yard line.
We have about 1:15 and counting left in the first half of play.
Number 60.
Andress, the 3-0 lead.
Leads the Rebel defense on that play.
And we'll see what they do here as the clock continues to move. Andress taking as much time as they can. Less than a minute to go. They're just watching that clock tick down. 3rd and 11. 3 seconds to go as they come up to the line of scrimmage. And they don't get it away according to the clock. There comes the flag. The clock went to 0, and then a couple seconds later, the official's flag came out, but they get it. 46 seconds left in the half.
The play clock.
The play clock, right, not the game clock.
Yes, all right. There's 46 on those ticks on the game clock.
Play of game against the Eagles. Moves the ball back 5 yards. 3rd and 15.
So halftime just 46 seconds away. Normally at halftime, we'll get an opportunity to show you the bands. Unfortunately tonight, we have some bad news due to some technical problems that we're having on our first ball game of the 1991 season. We won't be able to bring you the bands. We apologize for that. We'll get several chances, hopefully, through the season to see the Marching Rebels perform, but unfortunately tonight we won't get a chance to do that for you. Thomas with the football.
Great job on defense by Tellez out there as he just simply refused to be fooled, and he stayed with that reverse and grabbed the man on the outside.
Number 35.
The Rebels call a timeout. There's 21 seconds left in the half as Steve Guardato will come on now to punt. Don't worry, he's not going to try an 80-yard field goal.
I don't know. The way he kicked it last time, he could try.
It'll be 4th and 16 facing the Eagles.
The bad part of a field goal is the ball comes back to where you tried it from, and
That's
that would not be good.
You were talking about a blocked kick. This would be the time the Rebels will need one.
Right, and the only other punt they had, they really did break in through the middle pretty good. They had 2 or 3 people that came pretty free up the middle. Could be interesting.
Mike Brackens, along with Henry Stewart, dropped deep for the Rebels, which will be at around midfield. Steve Guardato back at his own end zone, right at the line. Here they come. He gets it away. A beautiful kick, angles it out of bounds, and goes out at about the 45-yard line.
With 14 seconds left to play.
Quite a kick by Steve Guardato. He's been the story in this first half of play for Andress, a 49-yard field goal, and he kicks his team out of danger right there.
Once again, want to apologize for the fact that due to some technical problems we have been having a little bit here in the first half of play, we're not going to be able to bring you the Lee Rebel Band, and that's a shame because they are one of the finest bands in the country, do an outstanding job. But we will have a chance to see the Lee Rebel Band later in the year, and I assure you we will make up for this at that time.
There's 14 seconds left in the first half of play. Jimmy Patton looking to throw, looking right side. It's incomplete, almost intercepted.
Boy.
Breaking downfield, he had Demon Robinson down there. Jonathan Porter is the one for the Eagles that almost got the interception.
And I don't know that this is true, but that's probably the reason Jonathan Porter's a defensive back.
That's a possibility.
Got the speed, got the moves, just not the hands. Because the ball was right in his chest. He had a real opportunity to intercept that one.
2nd and 10, 8 seconds left. Up the middle, tripped up as he gets the football is Roy Robinson.
And
that'll do it. That'll wrap it up for the first half of the game between the Andress Eagles and the Lee Rebels. The teams retreat to the locker room. After 2 quarters of football, Andress leads Lee by a score of 3-0. This is the Super 7 Sports Production.
Starving.
Very
I guess I'd have to say lackluster first half. Neither team done a whole lot offensively. Some very good defensive play, but just really both coaches playing it pretty close to the vest, and nothing. It's not a real exciting game yet.
Yeah, I think that's it. The thing that makes it exciting is the fact that it's just 3-0 and we've got a close battle, but it really hasn't been a well-played first half. When you have a 3-0 game, you call it a defensive struggle. I'm not so sure if this is a defensive struggle or just a lack of offense in the first half, and that shows in the numbers.
Right. Lee has a total of 78 yards offense. The Andress Eagles a total of 28 yards offense in the first half, but Andress holds a 3-0 margin on the scoreboard thanks to a 49-yard field goal, which is a little amazing. One pass completed. That was by Andress for 5 yards. That's about it. You know, I mean, it's penalty yardage. Andress has had a total of 6 penalties for 35 yards. Lee 2 penalties for 20 yards. It's just not a whole lot of anything. 28 plays to 17 in favor of Lee, but nobody has really moved the ball that well.
Mistakes again have hurt the Rebels. The 49-yard field goal was actually set up by a fumble recovery. Remember, right before that, Lee intercepted a pass, first turnover against the Eagles, but the very next play, the Rebels turn it right back to Andress with a fumble. 5 plays later, they go for the field goal of 49 yards, and Steve Guardado, an outstanding field goal, a good night for him. Not only with that field goal, his kickoffs have been deep, his punts have been good, and he's been one of the bright spots for the Andress Eagles in the first half.
Well, the other thing, I mean, I agree with you. I don't think you can really call this a great defensive game at this point, but there have been some outstanding defensive plays. Both ball clubs have had some good defensive players.
0. Halftime score.
The Rebels will be kicking off to begin the second half of play.
Greenwood 8, Tahoma 6.
The crowd you hear in the background making a few oohs and ahs at some halftime scores coming from around.
The hardest thing for us to do is not to talk about them, because by the time you see the broadcast, of course, you know who won. Yes. We don't right now.
Yes.
And some
to us, it's interesting.
Yeah,
to you, it wouldn't be when you're hearing this.
Some interesting scores at halftime.
Let's not get into that any further. It's crazy. And the Lee Rebels back out on the field. The Andress Eagles getting ready to line up also. Coach Sepkowitz. Takes somebody from a little further north than this.
Is that what it is? Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, Alan Sepkowitz has really turned around the Andress Eagles. He had to be proud of his team last year, 10-1-1, going to the playoffs and going farther than any Andress team had gone before. And he liked it so much, he'd like to do it again.
And my understanding is in El Paso this year, well, conflicting reports. Some people say Andress is picked to win that district in District 1-5A, but also the people at Monterey out there and the people at El Paso Irvin out there are also considered to have very good ball clubs this year and expect to be a very tight race.
Yeah, I think it's it should be very, very tight race in District 1-5A. And
District 4-5A is anybody's race.
Exactly.
There are at least 4 teams that have a real shot at winning it all.
So the Rebels will receive the second half kickoff as Steve Guardado has the ball teed up at the 40-yard line. The second half is underway. High end-over-end kick brought down by Marlon Henry at the goal line. Henry back to the 5, the 10, tries the right side, has room. Marlon Henry on the move at the 40 and down at the 45-yard line. That's what the Rebels need, a big boost to start this second half.
Well, I was going to tell you who made the defensive play, but I really think that the defensive play was basically made by the Lee Rebels. I'm not sure anybody really gets a hand on him here. Take another real close look, but no, he just goes down of his own momentum. There is no one gets a hand on him from Andress.
We talked about Marlon Henry in the first half, a sophomore who we expect big things from in the future, but forget the future. How about big things right now? A big kickoff return.
The future is
now. The future is now. 47-yard line. That's where the Rebels will start.
A song title out of that.
Yes, you could. Keeping it on the ground, up the middle, big hit. As that was Steve Plyler, the nose guard, and Alfredo Marquez.
Marquez had him up around the top. Plyler had him around the middle.
Roy Robinson with the carry. 5'9", 180-pound senior. Roy, limited action last year, 11 carries for 59 yards. He's carried a few times tonight. 2nd down and 7, 3-yard pickup. Jimmy Patton keeps the football. Patton brought down by Jerry Perez as he takes it into Eagle territory a little bit farther.
Patton, the Rebel ball carrier. Jerry Pettis again on the top.
If you'll notice, the Lee Rebels have come out here in the second half, and this is basic wishbone. This is 2 tight ends, full house backfield, nobody split out. Just line it up and go straight ahead.
And with the last offensive series before the half, the Rebels were successful doing the same thing. Pitching it back now, running room, first down coverage, or no, he thought he had the first one, he was pushed back. Let's see where they spot. I believe he still has it.
Boy, it's going to be close. Where he's marking the ball,
Sherman Dedrick, the ball carrier for Lee, and he does pick up the first down.
At the 43-yard line.
Pair of people in there on the tackle. One of them was Vega. Rodrigo Vega was in there, and I wasn't sure who was in on the bottom of the stack. Good flowing defense to the outside as they cut that off-tackle play off.
10:35 and counting in the 3rd quarter. Rebels trailing at 3-0, trying to put their first points of the season on the board. Jimmy Patton fakes a handoff, keeps it, spins down to about the 43-yard line, 42. It'll be a very short pickup, if any, for Patton. The Rebel quarterback, Gilbert Ramirez, on the tackle.
One of those 2 very large linebackers. Actually, there were a couple of people that got in there before that. Jimmy Perez was in there, Jerry Perez was in there early.
They'll give him a yard, so it'll be 2nd and 9 from the 42. 10 minutes and counting left in the 3rd quarter. Big Casey Jones ready to give the ball back to Jimmy Patton. Patton keeps it, looks to throw right side, looking for Jeb Honeyman, can't get it to him. Now he throws it over there, and it is completed.
Yeah, it is completed. I was going to argue with it, but Jonathan Parker had very tight coverage on him. Let's watch it again. He tries to throw quick. He's not open. He takes another step back, roams over, and finally is able to lay it in. But that's about as tight a coverage as you can get. Had to be a well-thrown ball.
A 2-yard pickup on the completed pass. First completion of the night for the Rebels through the air. Jeb Honeyman, a returning starter at tight end. Patton pushed back and hit hard.
Oh, number 96, I believe that was.
Perhaps it was 86.
Perhaps there is no such person. I don't know.
66. There we go.
All right.
Jerry Strong was the one who made that strong hit.
Very strong. Oh, I didn't want you to say that.
I know. It just came out. I apologize.
I would hope so. And here is punting time.
Darrell Lucas, again, the transfer from Brunt. He's had a couple of good kicks tonight. See what he does now. 4th and 11. He'll get the kick away from his own 45. Good snap. High kick, fair catch called for and taken by the Eagles back at about the 14-yard line. There's a timeout on the field with 8 minutes and 36 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. Andress continues to lead Lee 3-0. This is the Super 7 Sports production.
14-yard line. 1st and 10, Andress.
Premier Discreet Connections. Hot and bold. Pick up your phone now and dial 19.
So it'll be 4th down and about. That's a punting situation for the Eagles and for Steve Guardado.
Now is the time for that block as he's punting out of his end zone, but they've got a return on.
Gets the kick away. There's Henry Stewart. He lets it bounce. Stewart going back to pick it up. And no 70-yard punt return that time, but still the Lee Rebels will have good field position as they'll get it at about the 47-yard line.
I'm not sure what happened with Stewart that time. Coach is asking him on the sideline what happened also. Acted almost as if he lost the ball. Didn't know where it was.
So it's 1st and 10 Rebels from their own 47-yard line. Coming out wide to the left side, it's Keenan Henry. Rebels keep it on the ground, but have nowhere to run with it. Kenny Williams pushed back as soon as he got the football by Ellis Morrow, the first one to hit him.
And there were several others who arrived shortly behind that.
So there'll be a loss on the play.
2nd and 14.
of about 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 14 with the clock running. 4 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the third quarter. Jimmy Patton keeps the football. Patton on the option, fumbles the ball. The Eagles have recovered it. Patton was hit, coughed it up, and Andress has recovered in Lee territory. Second turnover, Gilbert Ramirez was the one who...
I believe Ramirez is the one who gets on the ball out here.
Fumble caused by Marquez.
Ramirez is not the man. He is the man on top of the man who got the ball.
It was Alfredo Marquez, I believe, who caused the fumble.
Jonathan Parker's the one that...
Porter.
Porter, that is, that recovered the ball. Boy, you have bad handwriting.
1st and 10 for the Eagles. They start in Lee territory at the 47-yard line. 4:02 left to go in the third quarter. Thomas. Hand off to Tate. Tate trying to turn the corner. Does so. Inside the 40. Knocked out of bounds to the 36. Finally forced out down there by Mike Brackens, along with Nathan Lambert. But a good pickup.
About 11 yards pickup, good enough for a first down.
So Andress trailing for the first time, trying to get back into it, and they take it down to the 36-yard line, under the 4-minute mark. Lee hands it off to the first man through. That's Joe Hayward. Hayward a pick up inside the 35-yard line, picks up a quick 3 or maybe 4 yards. Clock continues to move, and so do the Andress Eagles, trying to take advantage of a Lee mistake.
Brett McNeil is the first one who got a hand on him as he closed down from his defensive end position. Grabbed him for a very short gain that time.
3-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 7. Fumble on the play. Thomas, or that is Lee, picks it up, throws it out to the right side, completed down to the 30-yard line to Chris Moore, his first reception of the night. But still a 3-yard pickup.
Fumbled the ball, was lucky it bounced right back up to him. Picked the ball up, dumped it off.
3 minutes to go in the third. The Lee Rebels lead this one 6-3. Andress has it 3rd and 4 at the Rebel 34-yard or the Rebel 30-yard line. Pass outside is completed. And down as soon as he caught the football at the 25-yard line. The receiver for the Eagles was Klaus Frederick. And Jake Crouch was in on the tackle that time for Lee. Make sure Frederick didn't go with the ball after he caught it. But it's another first down. Spotted it at the 25-yard line. 2:40 and counting.
Good drive by the Andress Eagles as they're moving the ball down the field fairly well this time.
Ryan Reed goes to the left side. Wishbone behind quarterback Isaiah Lee. Lee takes it, hands it off to the right. That's Tony Tate. Tate, quick pickup of about 3 yards. As Henry Stewart, Mark Seidenberger were both there for the Rebels. Tony Olivas was also there. It's 2nd and 8. It'll be a 2-yard pickup down to the 23. Or make that to the 22.
The 20.
Speaking of 2, there's 2 minutes to go in the quarter. Lee sprints out to the right side, brought down from behind, Matt Tryon.
Matt Tryon has had a whale of a ball game, and if the Lee Rebels ever needed a big play, that was one time they needed it, and he came through. Walls drops him all the way back to the 30-yard line.
Coach Earl Miller describes Matt Tryon as an overachiever. Well, he has been overachieving all night long.
His overage is great tonight.
Tremendous game and a big play. 3rd and 16, a 9-yard loss on that one, pushing the ball back to just outside, or just inside the 30-yard line. Lee to throw, has a receiver. That's Reed, knocked away. Great defensive play by the Rebels. Diving through the air to knock that one down was Jake Crouch.
I tell you what, the receiver though, he committed a cardinal sin. This receiver is way behind him. I mean, this receiver is in position to score, and he just barely tips that ball away. Whoa.
Jake Crouch, junior varsity action last year, 5'9", 175-pound junior, and we're going to have a field goal attempt right now. by Steve Guardado. At the 37, a 47-yard attempt by Guardado. He kicked a 49-yarder earlier. Snap back, ball down. The kick is wide to the left side. It will be no good.
Short and wide that time. Wind may have gotten to him a little more. Seems the wind is moving a little more around toward the northeast.
So a couple of big defensive plays. One by Jake Crouch and the one by Matt Tryon. Keep the Eagles off the board and keep the score at 6-3.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was a close one. Escaped with their life on that one.
So the Rebels will start at 1st and 10 from their own 29-yard line. 1:11 left to go in the third quarter as Brett Sullivan gets the football.
Brett Sullivan, the Rebel ball carrier, up to the 33-yard line.
Brett has carried the ball a number of times, and though we've seen several backs in there tonight for the Lee Rebels, which we expected to see. About 4 or 5 different guys have had a chance to run the football.
Sullivan's got 7 carries for 30 yards, a 4.3 yard per carry average, which isn't bad.
4-yard pickup there, 2nd and 6. Roderick with the ball. First down coverage. As that's Dedrick instead. Sherman Dedrick with the ball. I told you we've had so many people with the ball, I'm not sure who's who. Sherman will take it just short of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49.5-yard line on a good first down run for the Rebels.
First and 10 Rebels.
Actually, at this point, Patton is the leading ball carrier for the Lee Rebels. He's got a total of 32 yards.
The pitch comes back. A flag will fly as Kenny Williams hurdled over the 50-yard line. It was brought down at the 46-yard line. We'll check out the marker. Looks like it'll go against the Rebels. The clock stopped with 18 seconds left in this third quarter.
Crackback block, illegal block below the waist. They called the wide receiver for coming back from outside the blocking zone and hitting a man below the waist from in front.
So the official talking over with Alfredo Marquez, one of the Eagle co-captains.
And they're certainly going to take the penalty. It'll set up a first and first and 20, first and 25, first and a bundle.
That's what you call a big penalty.
Well, it's a drive-stopping type penalty. I mean, here they are at midfield, and now all of a sudden they're back at their own 35-yard line. That's a huge amount of difference because they have not experienced a great deal of success tonight against the Andress line.
Patton keeps it. Patton turns it upfield across the 40, spins down at the 43.
Got about half of the penalty back.
Yeah. So it'll be second down, and that will be the last play of the third quarter. The third quarter that began with Andress on top and ends with Lee on top, thanks to a 70-yard punt return by Henry Stewart. After 3 complete from Memorial Stadium in Midland, the Andress Eagles trail the Lee Rebels 6-3. This is a Super 7 Sports production.
Starving Artist Group Emergency Liquidation Art Sale for 1 day only. Save up to 70%. Huge sofa-size original oil paintings from $19. Smaller paintings from $3. Thousands of beautiful original oil paintings by talented professional artists with absolutely nothing over $49. Starving Artist quality at rock-bottom Starving Artist prices. This Sunday at the Midland Hilton on West Wall Avenue and the Odessa Hilton on Loop 388. Absolutely nothing over $49. This Sunday only, 11 to 4.
Ladies, Woods Boots wants to help you spruce up your wardrobe with great styles from Panhandle Slim, Rocky Mountain, and Roper, all with colorful shirts to match. We also have the accessories to finish the look, from belts and buckles to earrings and purses. And of course, we have boots, boots and more boots. For the right look at the right price, it's Woods Boots in Odessa.
Woods Boots, the most walked about boots in Texas.
Excellence, possessing outstanding qualities. Super 7 and Pick recognizes excellence in Catherine Coles of the Stanton ISD in Stanton. Catherine is a recipient of Pick's 1991 Golden Apple Award for excellence in the teaching of students at risk of leaving school without completing their high school education. Catherine Coles, a true definition of excellence. Super 7 in the Permian Basin Private Industry Council. investing in education today for a quality workforce tomorrow.
Premier Discreet Connections. Hot and bold. Pick up your phone now and dial 1-900-976-CHAT and talk live one-on-one with one of our sensuous ladies. 1-900-976-2.
An exciting finish to now anyone's ball game. The Lee Rebels with a 70-yard punt return by Henry Stewart. Their only points of the night. The 3 for Andress, a 49-yard kick, or a 49-yard field goal. That's what you call it. You call it a field goal. See, I told you it's been a long off season.
Not a field kick.
That's it. 2nd and 17 for the Revs. That's Jimmy Patton on the run. That's Jimmy Patton going down.
That's Jimmy Patton getting swarmed under back there.
Richard O'Quinn was one of them.
With
Gilbert Ramirez.
Gilbert Ramirez. Yeah, right. Okay. Honest, folks. The only thing I've had is 1 Diet Pepsi.
See, you can tell it's the first game of the season. 3/4 of talking is too much for us, isn't it? Yeah. Jimmy Connors can play tennis for 4.5 hours, but we can't do a ball game for 2 hours. It's kind of tough. 3rd and 22 for the Rebels. About a 5-yard loss on that play. Clock moving, 11:20 to go in the game. Jimmy Patton has a receiver wide to the right side. Patton fakes the handoff, looks to throw right down the middle.
Oh,
incomplete.
Had him wide open.
Keenan Henry broke behind the secondary, but Jimmy couldn't quite get the ball to him.
Oh, that was 6 if he had been there.
So it'll be a 4th down. Clock will stop with 11:11 to go in the ball game. It'll be Darrell Lucas back to punt once again. Be the 4th kick of the night for Darrell Lucas.
Tell you what, the Lee coaching staff is going to be talking to him about 3rd down conversions. That makes they've only converted on 3 of 11 chances on 3rd down.
High snap. Lucas gets it away, and a high kick with long hang time. Joe Thomas under it. 25. Fair catch at the 25-yard line. So that's where the Eagles will start it with 11 minutes and 4 seconds to go in the ball game. They'll have it 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. And let's see what Coach Alan Sepkowitz and his Andress Eagles have planned for this drive. Isaiah Lee,
well,
the Eagle quarterback.
Yeah, Thomas is their leading ball carrier at this point with 21 yards, but he's only averaging 1.6 yards a carry. Lee is not going well at all. He's got a minus 19 yards thanks to a couple of sacks. It's not been a good night for the Andress offense so far.
Handoff to Tony Tate. Tony going to the left side, picking up 3 yards on that carry, making it 2nd down.
35, Jovan Velez leads the Rebel defense. Gains about 3.
Taking it out to the 28-yard line. Again, Russell Branham, the starting center, on the bench with an ankle injury, or a knee injury, it looks like right now. And Gabriel Garcia in there at center. Takes the pitch to the right, give it to the left. Joe Thomas, nowhere to go. James Ward right there on top of Joe Thomas to bring him down.
And bring him down with quite a bit of authority. Might remind folks, Kurt, while we're doing this ball game tonight, this next week on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the Super 7 news crew will be broadcasting live 6 and 10 every night from out at the Permian Basin Fair. Come on out, meet the folks.
3rd and 7. Lee to throw across the middle. It's completed. 1st down to the 42-yard line. Big hit by Jake Crouch. Mark Seidenberger was also there for the Rebels, but not before the Eagles pick up a big 1st down on 3rd and 7.
Well, nice 1st down conversion or 3rd down conversion for them, and that's going to make some difference for them. But their rate of 3rd down conversions has not been very great either. They've converted now on 2 of 9. So neither team may able to make those critical 3rd down conversions.
1st and 10 from the 42. Tony Tate gets the ball, and will take it up for about a yard, maybe 2.
And since you're talking about 2 wishbone teams, that 3rd down conversion rate is very, very critical to them. Neither one of them have been able to do it.
Matt Tryon again on the stop that time for the Lee Rebels. They had a great game defensively. 1-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 9. Line of scrimmage is at the Eagles' own 43 with 9 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the ball game. Lee leads it 6-3. Isaiah Lee will be sacked. No, he won't. It's up in the air, and the ball was tipped and then incomplete. It looked like he would be sacked. He got it away. It was tipped by the Rebels, then almost completed to the Eagles, or an interception. They were both there. Was it completed?
It was completed.
It was completed.
For a loss. Completed for a loss of a yard.
All right, they say tipped and completed.
For a loss of a yard.
Third down.
And our statistician just threw his computer out. He says it doesn't say passes.
How do I
negative.
put that one down? Yeah.
Negative passes don't happen.
3rd and 11. Isaiah Lee to throw. Gets it away. It is incomplete. No flag. Seidenberger was there for the Rebels as the pass was intended for Klaus Frederick.
Watch this. Seidenberger actually kind of loses his footing, and he's about halfway down and gets back up and comes up and just cuts his legs out from under him. But his timing was just about right.
So it'll be 4th and 11. Steve Guardado goes back in punt formation.
2 out of 10 on third down conversions. That's 20%.
Very good. Didn't even have a calculator for that one. High spiral, floats back to Henry Stewart, who takes it and goes down. Stewart lost his footing at about the 13-yard line as he had to retreat to take that one in. So the Rebels don't have good field position, but the good news for Lee fans is that they do have the football. 8 minutes and 22 seconds to go, and they'll start it from the 13-yard line.
And hanging on, and I do mean hanging on, to a 6-3 lead. Neither ball club showing much ability to move the football. The offensive units actually, of course, a field goal by Andress and a special teams play. Oops, here we go.
That's Roy Robinson. A robo burst from the pack, takes it out to the 30-yard line. Looked like he was stopped, then emerged from a rugby scrum.
About the time that I said they weren't going to do anything, he just comes.
He keeps on his feet. You can see him continuing to keep those feet moving and ends up with a nice pickup, a first down pickup. As he takes it out just short of the 30-yard line. 8:10 left in the ball game.
Whoops.
Up the middle again. Robinson, the ball carrier, one more time before Alfredo Marquez brings him to the turf.
Well, Alfredo actually kind of put a shoulder into him and knocked him down. He was fighting off a block or two.
2-yard pickup, takes the ball to the 32-yard line.
I tell you what, Kurt, no one has been able to establish any dominance along the line of scrimmage.
None whatsoever.
Neither team. It is a stalemate in there, and when there is a stalemate on the line of scrimmage, there's a stalemate on the scoreboard, and that's exactly what we've got. Neither team is able to effectively block the other team or effectively control it on defense either. It's just a stalemate.
1 yard loss on that last play as Patton had nowhere to go. 7:10 to go in the ball game. 3rd and 9 from the 31. Ryan Tucker to the left side for the Rebels, who keep it on the ground. Speaking of nowhere to go, Sherman Diedrich had nowhere to run. As soon as he hit the 31-yard line, the Eagle defense was right there to stop it up.
There is O'Quinn is in there on the stop, and half a dozen other folks. There's a lot of people in on those stops.
So we'll give Dedrick a yard on that play to make it 4th and 8. They've called Sherman both Dedrick and Diedrich tonight, so
whichever.
Take your pick. 6:25 and counting.
To his mother, we apologize.
Yes, indeed. Darrell Lucas, the end-over-end punt, which takes a Rebel roll, and the Eagles wisely let that one lie as Joseph Hayward, for a brief split second, thought about picking it up, but decided against it, and that was a good thing. 1st and 10 for the Eagles. 6 minutes and 14 seconds left in the ball game.
That is one of those where you say, no, 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 yeah, no.
They put it to 29. And it looks like this ball game will just add to the Andress-Lee rivalry, as it's going to be another close one. Neither team can pull away. Fumble on the snap. Flags will come in.
I don't think that was a fumble. I think that was a fumble-rooski. I think they were intentionally laying the ball down. Watch.
No, they just moved too early, didn't they?
It was a fumble. Everybody moved too quick there. They were trying to pull and come across, but I really thought there for a second that he intentionally laid that ball down.
Right.
The guard was going to pick it up and all that good stuff.
That's good, yeah. Right after the game, we'll be headed down to the field to talk with our offensive and defensive players of the game, which are still in doubt because the score is still in doubt. 6:13 to go. Andress keeping it on the ground, the middle of that Rebel defense.
Well, I tell you
bending for about 3 yards, but that's it.
It is a war on that line of scrimmage down there. There are some people who are really doing some hitting. There's going to be a bunch of linemen tomorrow who are going to need a lot of time in the whirlpool. Lots of bumps and bruises.
Under the 6-minute mark. 2-yard pickup will make it 2nd and 13. Just across the 25-yard line. Isaiah Lee drops the throw, gets it away, and it's almost intercepted.
Our friend again.
Jake Crouch was right there.
Jake has played a good ball game. Been out of position a couple of times, but was enough athletic ability to come back and save himself. That time he almost got a knee hurt on that one. He got a kick back on him.
The clock will stop with 5 minutes and 35 seconds to go. It's 3rd down, 3rd and 13 for the Eagles. Lee has 2 receivers to the left side, and he'll try to hit one of them across the middle. He's pressured, and he is down.
Tellez got in there very quickly from his middle linebacker spot. He just simply rolled to one side, then blew straight ahead, grabbed his jersey, and waited for friends to get there. Watch Tellez as here he comes around the side now. He coming middle linebacker spot. He gets a hold of his jersey, and then he waits for a few friends to get there and finish the thing off.
I believe Matt Tryon may have been one that Chico was waiting for to come in there and get him down, which he did.
I think Boyce was the other one. I'm not sure. I believe Boyce was also in on that one.
It'll be 4th down, 4th and 18, so the Eagles will punt. Steve Guardado back at the 10, high snap, but he gets a low kick away. It'll bounce at midfield, and it'll be taken in by Stewart. He fumbles, but he falls on it. Holy cow.
Holy cow.
Henry Stewart gets the ball back. 5 minutes, 29 seconds left to go in the ball game. The Rebels will start it 1st and 10 from their own 48-yard line. Rebels come up with Jimmy Patton. First and 10 from the 48, keeping it on the ground for a very short pickup. It'll be 2nd down. Clock continues to move, coming down on the 5-minute mark.
You got to go give it to Coach Dykes. It's right at the end of the game. Coach Dykes.
Again, it will be the Rebels keeping the ball on the ground as Kenny Williams with the ball carrier. The Rebels doing one thing they'd like to do, that is keep the clock moving, which now shows 4 minutes and 40 seconds. It'll be 3rd down and 7 yards to go. Third and 7 at the Eagle 49. Jimmy Patton fumbles. Has to retreat back into his own territory down to about the 47, his own 47, so it'll be 4th and long. The clock continues to move. The job for Daryl Lucas right now, the Lee punter, to put the Eagles deep in their own territory, to pin them down because there's 4 minutes left, a long time.
4 minutes, 9 seconds left, or 4 minutes, okay, 4 minutes left in the ball game. And yeah, that's a long, long time, and nobody's been able to do anything offensively.
And there's the kick from Daryl Lucas. High, a fair catch called for, and a fumble on the play. The Eagles have it, though. Fumble at the 21. Pushed back to about the 17. So that's where the Eagles will start it. A little bit of excitement on the fair catch. There is 3 minutes and 39 seconds left to go in the 1991 season opener. Lee leads Andress 6-3. The Eagles will start this drive from their own 17-yard line.
Tell you what, I can hear the comments from the coaches already after this one's over. It's going to be talks of missed opportunities, lost chances, etc. And there have been a lot of them.
You see the timeout indication there by the Andress Eagles, but apparently the players don't see it. The coaches look like they were calling time. Maybe they weren't. 1st and 10 from the 17. Isaiah Lee hands it off to Joe Thomas. Thomas hit about as soon as he got the football. He'll still pick up a couple. Bernard Oldham, the first one to hit him.
Isaiah Lee, the ball carrier.
And Chico Tellez also there.
Well, Chico was a little late getting there.
Mark Seifert stopped at about the 19-yard line. Brings up 2nd and 9.
So it'll be 2nd down and 9, a 1-yard pickup. Out to the 18-yard line. New quarterback in there right now. For the Eagles, it is Joe Hayward. Hayward pitches the ball back to Lee in the backfield. Lee trying to turn the corner, can't do so. Pushed out of bounds.
Lee moved back to a halfback slot, and Hayward came in as the quarterback the last couple of plays.
Isaiah Lee, the ball carrier, driven out of bounds by Rod.
Trying, I'm sure, to break some speed to the outside, do something. You're down to a little under 3 minutes to go in the ball game, and you need to eat up some yardage.
Just couldn't turn the corner, though. That's one thing the Rebel defense has done a very good job of, is stringing out the plays and making sure that nothing goes upfield down the sidelines. 3rd and 8 right now for Andress. A fumble on the play. The Rebels say they have it. Let's unpile and see if they do. Lee has recovered the fumble.
Oh, me. Big break in the game. Matt Tryon. One more time around. The young man has played a tremendous football game tonight. Great big block on the one touchdown that they had. A number of stellar defensive plays. They just played a great ball game.
There's 2 minutes and 43 seconds left, and the Lee Rebels will try to put this one away as they start at 1st and 10 from the Eagle 20-yard line, trying to take advantage of an Eagle mistake.
Outside, and he's getting close. Down to about the 8-yard line that time.
Sherman Dedrick, the ball carrier.
Ball carrier brought down by number 80, Ellis Morrow, and number 25.
A 1st down for the Rebels.
First time all night long that Lee has gotten anything to the outside, and they finally be able to turn the corner and pick up down to about the 7, making it a 1st and goal with 2:33 left to play.
13-yard pickup, 1st and goal for the Rebels. Again, it's Dedrick. Evades one tackle, goes through the 2nd, but he's brought down.
Picked up about 2 yards, though, I believe. You're going to find down to about the...
Main thing Sherman wants to do is not only get that yardage, but keep that clock moving.
Down to about the 5-yard line, 2 minutes and 14 seconds left to play in the ball game.
And again, as soon as the game is over, we'll head down to the sidelines and talk it over with our offensive and defensive players of the night. 2nd and goal for the Rebels. Picking up a yard now to the 6-yard line. Less than 2 minutes left. Jimmy Patton takes it close to the end zone. Does he take it in? No, he doesn't.
Nope. He is down about the 1-yard line, I believe.
Or maybe even closer. That's about as close as you can get without taking it in.
About the half-yard line is what they're saying. The point of the football is, oh, yeah. Is that close? It's like,
that close.
4 inches.
Yeah.
3-4 inches.
A timeout will be called on the field with 1 minute and 42 seconds left in this ball game. The Rebels control it by a score of 6-3. This is a Super 7 sports production.
You either have it or you don't have it. Now, if you don't have this or this...
To help you spruce up your wardrobe.
Memorial Stadium ready for the final 1 minute and 42 seconds of this one. The Rebels trying to put it away. In the season opener for 1991, a flag will fly as the handoff came to Roy Robinson, and we'll check out the marker. Lee had it, 3rd and goal from about the 1 foot line or less than that. The Rebels indicating a penalty against the Eagles, which it is. Half the distance will put it at the 2-inch line.
The ball did not go in the end zone, I do not think. I do not think they scored on it. Let's see. Boy, I don't know. Evidently they did not. So they'll try 3rd and goal from the 2-inch line this time. Try this one more time around.
The clock will start up with 1:35 and counting. 3rd and goal for the Rebels. Patton straight ahead.
No signal. No signal.
Touchdown! The Rebels have scored. They're dancing in Dixie again. Jimmy Patton took it in. That's the longest wait you've had for a touchdown in a long time. There was no noise at all in the bleachers, just watching.
Absolutely nothing, absolutely quiet. And looking right straight down, great shot we've got right here. Looking right straight down the line, and I tell you what, I understand why they had to unpile them, because you couldn't see. There's no way you could tell.
So there's 1 minute and 20 seconds left in this one, and that should wrap it up for the Lee Rebels. A hard-fought, come-from-behind victory. Try for the extra point by Todd Mead is good. Through the uprights. The Rebels tack on one more, and with 1 minute and 20 seconds left, Lee has a commanding 13-3 lead.
Well, Kurt, that was the type of touchdown drive that the Lee Rebels have tried to mount all night long, and you can watch it one more time right here at the goal line play, and it's just a smash in there. And I tell you, there is no way. I see 2 people standing up that were not in the pile, which makes
Everybody
about
else.
20 in there.
That's why it took so long to decide if he had crossed the goal line.
And Patton's not very big. He may be a lot smaller after that if he was at the bottom of that stack.
So the Rebels will kick it back down to the Eagles and see what they can do with the final 1:20 in this ball game. Lee played Andress twice last year, 1 loss, 1 tie. The tie actually sent the Rebels home, as the tie-breaking system gave it to the Andress Eagles. But it's hard to tell a lot from this first ball game, Don. You know, you come into the first game with a lot of question marks. I think we've still got a lot of question marks because it's been a funny ball game.
I think both coaches are going to see some things that were perhaps positive. They had some good line play on both sides, but nothing consistent. Nothing, but perhaps some things to build on, but nothing to really hang your hat on at this point.
So Todd Mead, who just scored his first point of the year on that extra point, kicks it off, and this one's going to go out of bounds inside the 10-yard line.
Which means they will move it back and try it again.
No time ticked off the clock.
We have a halftime score from El Paso, Permian 38, Urban 6. Final score, Odessa High 28, Taladura nothing.
Okay.
Oklahoma now leads Greenwood 9-8.
So they're lining up for the extra point.
Monterey 27.
Our silence shows that we're listening to the scores once again.
We must correct this behavior.
Yes, we must. Can we get a third party in here to listen to the scores and write them down for us or something? But we would like to congratulate Coach Bill Barron and the Odessa High Broncos on their first victory of the year.
Yes, really. That's tremendous. His first game that he's coached for the Red and White Hosses, and he comes out with a big, big win. That's tremendous.
Against a playoff team, Amarillo Paladuro, traditionally a playoff team, as we see them in the postseason every year.
Right, playoff team that whomped Odessa High last year in the playoffs.
There's another kick by Todd. Brought down at about the 10-yard line. That's Isaiah Lee. Lee will be stopped at the 26-yard line, where his forward progress was actually halted.
That is what you say, a whole host.
A host
of Midland Lee Rebels. I have asked numerous times how many it takes to be a host. Well, there is a host.
Takes a lot.
A whole bunch to be a host.
When all you see is maroon, it's a host.
It's a host. I thought it was a Holocaust.
Well, that could be too. 1:12 left to go in the game. Lee drops the throw, looking right side, has a receiver out there, but it's overthrown, intended for Ryan Reed.
Well, Kurt, we talked about this a little bit. I'm not sure that Earl Miller is going to be overjoyed. I'm sure he'll be glad to take the W in the win column. I don't know that he's going to be overjoyed with the team's performance tonight. He had some great play on defense. If there were question marks about some of the defense, I think those were answered. Defense played rather well.
Lee gives it off to Matt Thomas. Holy cow, he's down.
Holy cow. You've been listening to too much Cubs
Too much
baseball.
of Harry? Yeah, I apologize. Yeah. That wasn't Thomas. Instead,
since I know you're a Cubs
Tony
fan.
Tax. No, please don't start that rumor. No, wash your mouth out. I apologize to all you Cub fans, but I'm a loyal Cardinal fan, and those two don't mix. 40 seconds left in the ball game. 13-3 lead for the Rebels. 3rd and 15 facing the Andress Eagles. Lee to throw, gets it away, incomplete. Neither team has put the ball in the air a lot tonight. Of course, Andress feeling they have to now to try to score points in a hurry, but
and they are both
unable to do
typical
it.
wishbone teams. They work very, very hard on their running game all week long. They don't work very hard on their passing game, and it usually is reflected in the effort when they start trying to throw the football.
We've had a couple passes completed for 2 yards and one for minus yardage, and that's not been a major factor tonight. 4th and 15, they go for it. Isaiah Lee running out of room, still looking upfield, still looking, heaves it. Nice pass, knocked down, almost intercepted, and it was probably better in that case that the ball was missed by Jay Crouch. If he had caught the ball, they would not have as good field position as they have now, but that's all pretty much irrelevant because there's 17 seconds to go in the ball game.
Right.
Nice toss by Lee, though. Pretty pass.
Well,
so the Andress Eagles will be making that long drive back just as Midland Lee did a year ago on the losing side of the scoreboard. Rebels will just watch that clock run down as Jimmy Patton kneels.
And I think that's going to be about the last play of the game.
The seconds tick off the scoreboard, and the Rebels have just a little bit of revenge from last year.
And that's the end of this ball game. We'll be back here in just a few minutes to wrap it up with and talk with the two players whom we have named as the outstanding players of the game. It has been an interesting first game of the season. Once again, want to apologize to the Lee Band people because we were not able to put that outstanding Lee Rebel Band on the air at halftime due to some technical difficulties we experienced, primarily in the power source here at the stadium. But we will be showing you the Lee Rebel Band along with a lot of other Lee football before this year is over. Congratulations to all the teams who won this weekend, and the ones who didn't, well, there's always next week. We'll be back in just a moment with a final word.
Family fun in 91. It's the Permian Basin Fair and Expo. We'll light up the West Texas night when Bud Light and KOZA KERB present Emilio Nevada, Thursday night, September 12th. And where else can you find so much?
So exciting and such a big win for Lee. Our defensive player of the night is Matt Tryon. We mentioned his name all night long, it seemed. We'll talk with Matt in just a moment. On the offensive side of the football, Henry Stewart and his defense. What's that?
I'm on defense.
Well, we got you on your punt return on offense, though, so we're going to give you offensive player tonight, okay? Will that be all right? Okay, let's talk about that punt return because that got those points on the board. Tell me what happened on that play.
All I know is that when I caught it, I took off to the right. I seen the hole, I took for that. When I seen a man coming, I went for the block. As soon as I got on the 30, I saw the open and I went for it.
Now, when you went down the sidelines, from up top where we were, it looked like you were pretty close, so you're kind of tight-roping it a little bit down the sidelines, weren't you?
Yes, sir, but somehow I pulled it off and got to the end zone.
And you got some good blocking support from your teammates, too.
Yes, sir, one from a buddy Matt right there. He got a good block. Yeah.
Now, tell me about this ball game. You go in at halftime, you're down 3-0. What was the attitude like as you're down in that first half?
Well, we was down for a couple of minutes, but we knew it wasn't the end of the ball game, so we went in and came back out the second half and knew what we had to do, so we did it.
Now, Henry, what does it mean to beat Andress? We talk about that revenge factor. They end the season for you last year. It has to be satisfying to get this victory.
Yeah, it was. Last year, we did pretty bad. We've been talking about ever since last year that we was going to come back this year and redeem ourselves.
And what about this Rebel team? Not only tonight, but what kind of a year do you expect?
Hey, this is just a start. We finna have a great year. We finna go out and just whoop everybody. It's on, right?
Okay. Henry, an exciting night for you, and thanks for visiting with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Henry Stewart, our offensive player, although he plays defense, but we put him on offense with that great punt return. Matt, we were talking about you all night long on defense. Great ball game for you and your defensive crew. You had to be happy with it.
Yeah, yes, sir. I worked very hard. I started on JV last year, and I got the shot. I had some competition, but I took what I had to do, and I worked hard this summer and everything, and I was just prepared.
Now, we mentioned Henry just mentioned the block you gave on that punt return. You were a big part of it there.
Yes, sir. We work on it in practice every day, and I saw the man coming, and I just knocked him out of there.
Now, how do you feel about beating Andress after last year? The loss and then the tie to end the season, it had to be satisfying tonight.
Yes, sir. I feel good. Like last year we went down there, it was a good game and all, but they beat us, and I'm just happy that we got the revenge on them.
Now, the first game's always a little tough. You never quite know what to expect out of the team, but it looks like this Rebel team, even as the game was going on, you were getting better. So you've got a lot of improvement there that we'll see in the weeks ahead, I think.
Yes, sir. We need to just keep working hard. Next week we have Del Rio. We go down there. We just have to work hard this coming up week.
All right, Matt, we enjoyed watching tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Matt Tryon, defensive player of the night, and the two members of the Rebel team that made that victory tonight possible, the 13-3 final. Let's head upstairs. Some final words right now from Don Scott.
Okay, Kurt, thank you very much. A few final stats for you. A very lackluster game, really, when you look at the offensive stats. The Lee Rebels had a total of 147 yards, 145 on the ground, 2 yards through the air. For the El Paso Andress Eagles, it was not a night that they'll want to remember a whole lot. 28 yards rushing, 25 yards passing, a total of 53 yards in total offense in the ball game. Not the kind of ball game that they really wanted to play. It was a more or less a defensive struggle. Some good plays done by some individual players, and we enjoyed the game. We hope you did. We'll be joining us, I hope, during the week out at the Permian Basin Fair, as the whole Super 7 News group will be there, and hope that you will join us, and we'll see you at the fair.